All right, welcome in, boys. Episode 3 of Ant and Jay Save America. I am Jay. He is Ant. Ant, we've been off for a couple weeks. I've been busy. I apologize, but we're here. We're back. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Everything's going fine on my land. Just got a new driver. Best part of my life so far.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What-
it doesn't perform any different than my previous driver, but it's a new driver, so it's better.
What is your handicap right now? What
Let's not talk about that.
Why not?
I don't think golf handicaps go that high.
Here we go. Well, I mean, listen, man. Maybe maybe the audience would like to know: are you maybe they're talking to a scratch golfer?
No,
Are you a scratch golfer?
no, I've broken 100 like twice.
I think that if I went to a golf course and tried to play like one round of golf with you, we would probably end up at the emergency room and I'd have to go to the hospital. I'm almost positive that would be the case.
No, it's a lot harder than you think, golf. It's I love watching golf on TV with the pros because they make it seem so easy. They're like, oh, especially that guy who just won the Open Championship this past week.
Brian Harman.
Yeah. They're like, oh, Harman, here he goes, lining up another putt. Dink. Bottom of the cup. Like he was 58 for 59 on putts inside 10 feet.
Yeah.
And people who are golfers have no idea how freaking hard that is to just hit putts. Like anything outside the length of a putter is a hard putt.
So I'm happy that you brought golfing up, right? Because how absurd is Steph Curry at absolutely everything he does in life? Did you see like that pro-am that he played where he had the hole in one? Like the kid's like a scratch golfer too. He's like a beast.
Oh my! Because I know Tony Romo's a scratch golfer also, and it's like how like these athletes are just randomly like amazing at golf.
Like seriously.
Like, how do you have time to play that much golf? Or maybe they do have a lot of time because during the off season 6 months.
I mean, the good-looking guy, probably the greatest shooter in the history of the NBA. He's probably packing a foot long, and on top of all that, he just gets random hole in ones on par threes. Get the fuck out of here!
I was close to a hole in one before.
Enough is enough with this guy. It makes me sick how good he is at everything.
I mean, sometimes you're just sometimes God decides he likes people. And then sometimes, there's you and God decides he doesn't like people. So
yeah. All right, so let's get into the topics. First topic up. Crazy wild news. LeBron James's son suffers a cardiac arrest while training, but he's currently in stable condition. Can you imagine that, man? Like 19, what is he, like 18, 19-year-old kid?
Yeah,
probably
he's a teenager.
Like literally a physical specimen. He's fucking jacked. Like, I mean, he's LeBron James's kid. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I don't know. It's hard to explain like these young people who have cardiac arrests. I know they're going to say it was the vaccine because apparently everything's a vaccine nowadays.
Everything.
But kids have been having heart attacks for like forever when it comes to these sports. So I don't know. Like it's hard to explain. I'm not a doctor. I just know it's a bad situation, and I hope he pulls through on this.
Yeah, so it says Bronny James, the older son of NBA star LeBron James, suffered a cardiac arrest during basketball practice at Southern Cal and was hospitalized on Monday, according to a statement from a family spokesman. He is out of the intensive care unit and in stable condition, the statement said. Yesterday, while practicing, Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest. Medical staff was able to treat Bronny and take him to the hospital. He is now in stable condition and no longer in ICU. That's, first of all, who names their kid Bronny?
I was literally just about to ask.
So
you,
you're
hold on. Is his name really Bronny, or is he like LeBron Jr.?
I think it's Bronny James. You know what?
Huh.
Let me check that.
Why didn't he just name him? Why didn't you just make him a junior then? And then because it sounds like he would just be a junior, and they just call him Bronny as like a nickname.
LeBron. Okay, yeah, it is LeBron Raymond James Jr. Okay, there you go. There you have it.
All right, that makes way more sense.
But what a terrible nickname,
Bronny. Bronny. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but now we sound like assholes for making fun of a kid who just had a heart attack. So,
I mean, yeah, I don't mean to make fun. I mean, it's a little wild that I haven't had a heart attack yet, but that kid had a heart attack.
Yeah,
like, I'm fat. I smoked cigarettes for a long time. I have a stressful job. Yeah, I did. I quit. Yeah, about 2 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so
yeah.
You'll start off again.
Fuck. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's wild that he hasn't had a heart attack, but I've had a heart attack. I mean, how does that work?
I don't know. It's not like it's rare, but it's not unheard of that like these young guys can't have heart attacks or cardiac incidents. I mean, DeMar Hamlin had one on live TV last football season, and it took all of like 10 seconds for one of my cousin's husbands on Facebook to start posting about how it was a vaccine caused the guy to have a heart attack, and now here we are. I was actually on well, I wasn't on Twitter because I haven't gone on Twitter in ages because it's a dumpster fire.
Well, it's
I saw the post of Elon Musk. I saw the post of Elon Musk, who like literally 30 minutes after this hit the news was already blaming the vaccine. And it's like, Jesus Christ, Elon, really?
Did he really?
Yeah, like took him all of 30 minutes to just bring up vaccines.
He's way too smart for that, dude.
Elon
Musk. Listen, I know you're gonna die on the Elon is not smart hill. You're one of 10 people in the United States of America that think that. But I mean, he's at least well informed enough to not say, did the vaccine do it? But then again, dude, like my mom, who was like, she had never had an issue. She was like double vaxxed, right? And then like 3 months after her booster, she fucking had a stroke. Never had a heart problem, never had a brain problem, had a stroke, and then her valve shit the bed in her heart, like back to back. Now, was it the vaccine? Probably not. But it's weird. I mean, there are a lot of weird things that happen to people shortly after. But that said, like, would I ever not get the vaccine and die of COVID? No, I'm getting the vaccine.
I don't know. I mean, my mom got the vaccine, and all she did was not get COVID. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, that's surprising to hear Elon say that. Like that seems beyond.
It's surprising to hear Elon.
Really? Yeah, like I think that
Elon Musk has gone down the right-wing conspiracy theorist like rabbit hole like for like the last 2 years, and you're like surprised.
Yeah, I know, but that seems like beyond the pale. Like one step.
It is beyond the pale, which is why it's totally understandable that Elon would post that because he's an idiot. Well, anyways, this story sucks.
But wait, I want to say one thing. You brought up DeMar Hamlin. He actually had, I think, his first like OTA off-season workout like on the field.
Yeah, is he like super fit now?
Well, I mean, he's a starting cornerback in the NFL. He was pretty fit before this happened. You know what I mean? You know.
Well, hopefully, Bronny will have the same DeMar Hamlin recovery.
Yes, amen to that.
LeBron James, so like I don't want like bad things to happen to his son. That's kind of a shitty deal.
Listen, I respect how incredible he is at basketball. That being said, he is insufferable at times. Did you?
I like
Did
early
you
LeBron James. Like when he ditched Cleveland for Miami Beach, that was awesome. That was
he
hilarious.
basically
Like everyone in Cleveland was all mad about it. I'm like, guys, you're in Cleveland. You know what Cleveland's like, and you're like surprised that he went to Miami. Of course he went
did
to
you
Miami.
did you see at like the ESPY Awards? He basically
No,
was
I don't
like,
watch that shit.
so paraphrasing at the ESPY Awards, he was up there. I think it was like kind of like a lifetime achievement award or something like that for him. And he basically was like, just so you know, I'm not retiring yet. You're welcome. Basically.
I like
That's
that. I
like
wish I did watch it.
that's yeah, that's kind of basically what he said. But you know what? God bless him. God bless his son. Hopefully, kid snaps right back. I'm sure he will. And we move on. 2. Biblical floods destroy Nova Scotia. Crews are still searching for the missing. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about there's a lot of floods in like Vermont, and I know Nova Scotia is like right by Vermont, isn't it? Like Nova Scotia is that Canadian province that like borders the Vermont, Maine area, isn't it? I'm not geography whiz on that.
Uh, all I know is that it's in Canada. That's about
Yeah,
all.
like Nova Scotia is a Canadian province. I know it's a Canadian province like closer to the New England area. It's like on the eastern coast of Canada.
Yeah, so
And I
apparently
heard about the Vermont stuff.
3 months worth of rainfall. That's crazy. In how long a time? So 3 months worth of rain over the course of one day.
Holy shit!
How is that even possible?
It,
Were
it, did it just like rain torrential downpour for like a day straight?
I mean, was the droplets of water the size of water balloons? That seems not
Crazy.
possible. I don't know. Well, let us read. 3 months worth of rain over the course of one day has flooded the Canadian province of Nova Scotia since Friday night, inundated streets, forcing evacuations and leaving at least 4 people missing, including 2 children. Well, that's sad. A province wide state of emergency has been declared, including the Halifax Regional Municipality, as well as nearby East Hants, West Hants, Lunenburg, and Queens. We
Sounds
have
like
had
Canadian towns.
Yeah, that honestly, they're not. That's like those are houses. 9 people live in Lunenburg. Okay, let, let's be honest. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. East Hants and West Hants have like 48 people combined. So, Mayor Mike Savage says we have had biblical proportions of rain over the night and into the day. On Sunday, Canadian police said they were continuing the search for 2 children, a youth, and a man who had gone missing after the vehicles they were traveling in were submerged in 2 separate incidents early Saturday. I can't even remember the last time that I've even seen that kind of rain where I live in one day.
Well, I would say the last time you saw that amount of rain in one day, you probably would be inundated in a flood, Jay.
Yeah. So maybe
3 months worth of rain in a day. Now, in my city where I'm at, like when you have like torrential downpours, there's certain spots that just almost always flood, and flash flooding is no joke.
Yeah.
People are like, well, how do you get caught in the rain in a flash flood? I'm like, because it literally happens in a matter of seconds. The water will come up from the street from the sewers and just like rise like this, literally. Like,
Have you ever been caught in one?
huh?
Have you ever been caught in one?
I've never been caught in one, but I have friends who have been. I have a friend who lost a car in a flash flood about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And I have another friend. It was in the old market district of our downtown where flash flooding happened, and they got caught in an elevator that was flooding.
Jesus.
There was actually Twitter videos and YouTube videos of they posted it because it was literally the water was rising while they were stuck in the elevator. Now, it wasn't my friend who was stuck in the elevator; it was her building, and it was people that she knew. She knew the people that were stuck in that elevator that posted the videos, but that happened in like her building in that downtown area. So yeah, flash flooding is no joke. It happens fast, out of nowhere. So that's how people get caught in those kinds of floods. Because I know I've heard people question like, how do you just get caught in a flood like that? And I'm like, well, that's why it's called a flash flood. It literally happens in a flash.
Wow, that's crazy, man. So yeah, I guess we're praying for the best for the
So it
people.
says 750 people were evacuated. Oh, we're about 750 people were ordered to flee Halifax area overnight on Friday, while more than 400 homes were evacuated in Lunenburg. So every home in Lunenburg was evacuated.
Basically, yeah,
The
that's
state of
crazy.
emergency remains in effect until August 5th. Wow, that's like weeks from now.
But that makes sense. It's probably going to take a while for that water to dissipate, right?
Yeah, well, the thing too is like those floods are just going to destroy all those homes. Like
Oh yeah, they're done. They're I
they're gonna have to
one of
rebuild all that and everything.
the one of the towns, maybe like 15 to 20 minutes from my house, where one of the bigger like malls are in my county. Um, it's a giant flood area. Anytime it rains, like the mall parking lot gets flooded out, and all the homes in the area get flooded out, and they pay astronomical amount of money for flood insurance, but they will not move. They will not move. There have been people where the houses have had to get knocked down and they build the house in the same spot. And eventually the water comes again.
Man, oh, look at this CNN. This is why you can't trust CNN. It says some communities in the Halifax area are still recovering from a large wildlife that started in May, which led to the evacuation orders of 16,400 residents. I think they meant wildfire. So these people went from wildfire to biblical flood in the matter of 2 months.
I think you're right. Did you get any of that
What?
from like your air quality or anything from what was going on with the wildfires in Canada?
No, not where I live in Nebraska. But we get air quality issues when Kansas decides to start burning shit.
Bro,
Like it like comes north and it's like all smoky, gloomy outside. It sucks.
what happened over here was insane. Like you couldn't even see all of the Brooklyn Bridge. Like it was crazy. The sky was orange. It literally smelled like somebody's house was on fire 3 doors down from your house.
Wow.
That's how it was. That's how bad it was. It was nuts, man. Nuts. But
It's a
again,
hoax though, isn't it?
what?
It's just a hoax though, isn't it?
The wildfires?
Oh, all that climate change stuff, isn't it just a hoax?
Oh, yeah, climate change isn't real, man. Come on. I don't
Okay.
we don't
Biblical
believe
floods, wildfires
we,
constantly
we
happening.
don't believe in science in the United States. What's wrong with you?
The hottest June was the hottest month ever in the history of the world.
It's going to be 105 degrees here. I heard somebody say on the news. I was like,
5 degrees. I
yeah,
didn't know you guys could count that far in almost New York. Like temperatures that high are like that's like desert temperatures.
I'm gonna let that go because you're my friend. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let that go. Okay. So anyway, we're praying for the people of Nova Scotia, Canada, and the 8 people that live in Lunenburg. Thoughts and prayers, people. Thoughts and prayers. Moving on. NASA employee used COVID funds to grow pot and pay off his real estate debt. First
What?
of all, this is fantastic.
Wait,
Good for
I don't
him.
understand. Hold up. What? I don't get what you mean. A NASA employee. So this isn't about NASA. This is just the employee who works at NASA,
Correct.
and he used COVID. So what was it like a PPP loan
So
to grow pot and pay off his real estate? So he paid off his house. Is that real estate debt?
we're I don't know what happened. We're about to find out what happened. But first, let me say the United States government, they waste all of our tax money, all of it, all the money from us that we give to them, they waste it. So you know what? If a NASA employee wants to fund a little pot growing with COVID funds, good for him, I say. Why not?
I mean, honestly, yeah, I can't really argue with that. I mean,
Right?
probably a PPP loan, anyways. Isn't
They
that?
waste your money. They waste your tax money all the time.
Oh, they give all the money to the Pentagon, and the Pentagon can't even account for 60% of their funds.
So why it shouldn't be the other way around? Why
Yeah.
can't he dip into the till?
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand is how is it they can give the Pentagon $1 trillion a year and they can't pass an audit, but the government wants that receipt from that lunch in my taxes that I'm claiming as a business expense. They're like, you need to account for that $20, Anthony. I'm like, I don't know. How would you account for the $500 billion the Pentagon lost last year? Get the fuck out of here.
Amen.
All right, let's go on with this story.
Amen. NASA employee uses COVID fund to grow pot and pay off his real estate debt. Okay, probably the grow house. I would think.
Yeah.
Right. A NASA employee was caught using COVID-19 relief loans to support an illegal marijuana growing endeavor and erase his real estate debt, federal prosecutors said.
I want to know more about this real estate debt. What's he into?
I don't know.
Is he like buying Manhattan office space before COVID and now he's just underwater?
I don't know. But Armin Hovhannissian, 32, who works
sure that's not how that's pronounced.
How would you say it?
I have no idea. Right? I just know however either one of us pronounces his name is probably going to be wrong.
I kind of think I'm right.
Hovhannissian. You might be right. I don't know.
Hovhannissian.
Right? Hovhannissian. Right. You know, it doesn't look like it should be rough, but Hovhannissian. Hovhannissian.
Yeah.
Hovhannissian.
Right.
Hovhannissian.
Who works for NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, an agency research center run by the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, had applied for COVID-19 relief loans to help his small businesses during the early stages of the pandemic in 2020, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California.
If he's in California, marijuana growing should be legal. Isn't this a legitimate small business? I don't understand why this guy's in trouble.
I mean, you probably have to get like proper paperwork and make it legal, you know. As a result, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program run by the Small Business Administration granted Hovhannissian $152,000 in COVID-19 relief funds, prosecutors said.
If that paid off all his real estate debt, he must not have had a lot of real estate.
So he was from Glendale, California. He went on to defraud the federal loan program, which provided economic aid to businesses struggling during the pandemic by using the loans to buy marijuana cultivation equipment and to repay real estate debt, court documents show.
He's in California. What's $151,000 going to repay? $151,000 doesn't even buy you a shack in San Diego.
Oh my God, they're going to get him on wire fraud. He's agreed to plead guilty to wire fraud.
Leave Armin alone.
Yeah, man. 20 years in jail to grow some pot. Come on, man. The attorney's office announced in a July 24 news release. After doing so, he will face up to 20 years in prison, according to prosecutors. That's crazy, man.
This is bull crap. All the guy did was take out some loans for his marijuana business. Obviously, he's in California. That should be legal. I think this is the federal government run amok. God damn it!
He works as a cost control. That is funny. He works as a cost control and budget planning resource analyst at NASA's Propulsion Lab.
It was perfect. He perfectly planned his budget to pay off his real estate loans by defrauding the government. That's a very smart business maneuver he did.
That's pretty funny.
I honestly am very upset by this story. I cannot believe they're going after this guy.
Well,
Think
fucking
of all the
California.
people he made happy with that marijuana. This
I
guy is
agree.
providing happiness to the people of California, and the federal government is just trying to shut him down and throw him in prison.
Listen, the difference
Because he
between
wanted to provide a little happiness and pay off some real estate debt.
California is not even in the United States anymore. Let's be honest. They're about a half step away from Venezuela right now. This is the last of their problems. Leave this guy alone.
They need to run the NIMBYs out of California. That'll solve like literally 90% of their problems.
So he lied on 3 loan applications submitted between June 20th and October 20th.
Who hasn't?
I don't know. Probably a lot of people. Probably a lot of people.
I mean, not on PPP loan, but like everyone lies on a loan application. You go into the bank, you're right, and they're like, "What's your income?" And you're like, "Oh, well, I made like 80 grand last year." And they're like, "What did you make last year, Anthony?" "Oh, like 80 grand." "What did you make last year, Anthony?" "Oh, I mean, like 150 grand." "Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. So he lied on a loan application. Come on, guy. Come on.
What it says
Come
he lied
on.
what he actually lied about was his business gross revenues are promised. And he lied about business gross revenues and promised to use all the loan proceeds only as working capital to alleviate economic injury caused by disaster.
Oh my God. Are you telling me a small business operator lied about their gross revenues?
Yeah.
You mean every small business operator who's ever filed their fucking taxes?
Yeah, it's got to be because he just decided to go grow a shit ton of
Have you never met a contractor with an LLC?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they live in a mansion. They drive a $100,000 F-250 Super Duty. Their wife drives a $100,000 Escalade, and somehow on his taxes he managed to lose money in his business. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about this guy. Fucking. This is just this is bullcrap. Seriously, defrauding the government on loans, lying to get approval on loans, and lying about your business income is the American way. I mean, like, what the fuck?
I mean, there are a lot of people that do that yearly when tax time comes calling.
Oh my God, this is such bullshit. Like, I know so many small business owners.
Gavin Newsom. That's Gavin Newsom for you. It's pretty funny too that this is literally the least of California's problems. There are people sleeping on the street. There are porta potties everywhere, all over LA. Like they're phone booths in London. Like it's that Dr. whatever the fuck show. That
and they're going after this guy. It's bullshit.
It's crazy. It's crazy. What is it, Doctor? What is the name of that show? Doctor Who. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, California's got a lot of problems, least of which this guy. So I say
the federal government going after him, not California. It's the federal government who, oh my God. I am so angry. I'm not going to donate to it, but we need to start a GoFundMe for this guy's lawyers. Lawyer up, Armin. Leave Armin alone.
Don't tempt me.
Leave Armin alone. Come on, chant with me. Leave Armin alone.
I will start a GoFundMe for Armin because leave the guy alone. All right. Let's move on. The NBA banned YouTuber for sleeping in his PJs courtside at a WNBA game, and I have video.
You have video. Thank you so much. I want to see it. He was sleeping. I mean, the fact that he brought his PJs is funny because doesn't everybody sleep courtside? Oh my god!
Wait. Before I show you,
what is he? He's got a nightcap. Look at that. He bought a nightcap.
He bought 4 seats too. He bought all 4 seats.
And bought a nightcap and jammies.
So before I show the video, YouTuber, I don't know who this guy is, Gideon, has apparently been banned from all NBA related events following a prank during which he filmed himself sleeping at a WNBA game. The prankster, whose real name is Jiden Adams, attended a LA Sparks game this week and took up several courtside seats as he pretended to sleep, decked out in his pajamas, blankie, and all.
In his defense, doesn't everybody fall asleep at a WNBA game?
Yes, technically.
I mean, I'm not a hater on women's sports, but my God, the WNBA is awful. It's truly terrible. It's the worst.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So let's play this video because it's pretty funny. I watched it earlier.
I have really bad sleep apnea, so it makes me cold. Just like wake me up if I start snoring, okay?
He has sleep apnea. God damn it. Oh, this guy's a legend.
At a WNBA game,
and he shocks himself away.
Gideon purchased
it's not over. There's more video.
League. He would put on a cap, stretch out, lay his pillow down, and pretend to be asleep.
Help me out so I don't have to escort you out, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I did pay for them, though. I did. I bought 4.
After being asked not to sleep at the game, Gideon does it again.
He pretends he's having a nightmare. Did you catch that?
Yes. Oh my God.
Look.
His nightmare is that he's at a WNBA game.
I could watch that 10 times.
It's funny every time. He's like, oh, geez, I'm at a WNBA game. Huh? And then he wakes up and he's at a WNBA game.
So after the guy came over and he was like, listen, man, you can't do that or I'm going to have to escort you out. He goes right back to sleeping. And then here comes the guy again.
Now, I've asked you not to do this. Here's your warning.
The game's almost over.
Here's your warning. If you're still right here when I get back, you're leaving. Here's your warning.
Oh, that guy's a jerk. He was just trying to take a nap.
What? Yo, the balls though. Like I don't have that in me. I don't make scenes unless I'm forced to, and it like involves my daughter. Then I'll snap out on somebody. But like there are thousands of people at that game right now, and the dude.
Jason, that's a WNBA game. Back up.
I mean, there are probably
there are dozens of people at that game.
No, stop.
There are dozens and dozens of people at that game.
No, there are probably a few thousand people at that game, and he's courtside, and as the ladies
what was
are
the game? Come on, like Google. You know what? I'm not that interested. I'm not going to Google the attendance, but I'm pretty sure it's dozens.
No, it's not dozens. It's at the Staples Center. It's not dozens of people.
Yeah, it's at the Staples Center because they got a lease in league with the Lakers. It's not at the Staples Center because they fill it. It's because they'd be embarrassed if they played at the neighborhood park.
I don't even know.
Which is what they would fill.
I don't even know if it is the Staples Center, but I thought it was a Sparks game. I heard them say, so I assumed that it's
the Sparks. There. Yeah. Those WNBA teams play in NBA arenas because they're all owned by the because they're owned by the NBA.
All right, so I didn't see the end of this. I want to see what happens.
He laid back down. He's had his warning. He needs to leave.
My sleep apnea.
His sleep apnea, and
you need to get it right. You got to figure it out.
That you know what? He has a ADA lawsuit.
What?
He has an ADA lawsuit against the Los Angeles Sparks.
What's an ADA lawsuit?
American Disabilities Act.
How am I supposed to know that?
Because I'm pretty sure you've had to use it multiple times in your life. Look at you.
I mean, I am kind of disabled. What does that mean? Look at me. What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, anyways, he's got it. This is an ADA lawsuit. He has sleep apnea, obviously, and they're kicking him out for his disability. Honestly, I think he should sue the Sparks into oblivion, which wouldn't take much to sue them into oblivion. I think they only have like $47. So
I pray that when people come to pick this kid up, he goes total limp body and has to literally get picked up.
Go.
Come on. You do it the easy way, the hard way. Sir.
the hard way.
Easy way, the hard way. What happened?
Out of there?
What?
This dude's so mad that he's napping that he's like, I'm going to basically get the hard way, which means he's like going to drag him out of there.
I would be so mortified. Like, there are people everywhere. Like, that's so embarrassing. I know that I don't seem like that kind of guy, but I am. Like, I don't want people to be looking at me ever. Go about your life. Don't look at me. Do you? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, it takes a certain kind of person to do this, which it's nuts. And they're saying to him, you want the hard way or the easy way? And he still plays sleeping while they're saying
He's
it.
not play sleeping. He said he has sleep apnea.
Is it against the law to take naps?
He would finally
He's
be
got a
escorted out of the air.
He's got a sleep bonnet. That's what cracks me up. He's got a little sleep cap, like he's Ebenezer Scrooge and like Charles Dickens.
Yeah, he's got the blanket. He's got the full PJ with the hat. Yep.
It's like that dude who kicked him out is like one of the 3 ghosts of Christmas past or something.
I would have went if I were him. I would have went in a onesie with the feet.
Arena because of his actions.
Oh, who the fuck are you? Okay.
Yeah, we don't care about this guy.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah. Do they make onesies big enough for you?
God, I just lost 70 pounds, man. For fuck's sake. Man, it's tough sledding to be kegged today. All right. Moving on.
Oh,
I didn't know episode 3 was going to be shit on Jay. That's not nice.
I mean, it makes me laugh.
All right. Moving on. Normally we do
what is that headline?
Normally we do a Florida man. Well,
Florida woman, what?
We don't have Florida man today, but we have a couple Florida women. Florida woman steals a fire truck after impersonating a firefighter. So I don't really know anything about this story. We're going to read it now. Actually, you could read the story. I've read enough.
A Florida woman was accused of stealing a fire truck and impersonating a firefighter earlier this month. The county sheriff's office said Belinda Dolores Woe, 44, allegedly took off with the fire truck on July 15th after spending the night at the Wellborn Volunteer Fire Department station. She was fucking a volunteer firefighter. That's basically what that means. When the fire chief visited the station to respond to a call, he discovered the truck was gone. The sheriff's office said he received a phone call from Wah stating the fire truck ran out of gas in Live Oak, which is about 10 miles from Wellborn. It went 10 miles.
Like, what do people think of when they do these things? Like, why? Why?
She stayed the night there, so obviously she was getting some firefighter dickin', and she was probably just so dope sick off of that firefighter dickin' she took the night before.
So she woke up in the morning and started doing the walk of shame and said, "Fuck it, I'll take the fire truck."
She
I mean, like,
she probably still had some firefighter inside of her, or at least like pieces of him inside of her. So she probably thought she was a firefighter and just started driving the truck. Anyways, moving on. After deputies tracked down Wah in the truck, she allegedly claimed to be a volunteer firefighter with the county. Deputies determined she was not an official on the official roster and not authorized to use the fire truck. Wah was booked into the that's a stupid name. The Sewanee County Jail on charges of grand theft and fraud impersonating a firefighter.
So this is what I mean. Like that, just getting in that fire truck and driving it for 10 miles was worth going to jail and getting booked on grand theft and fraud. I mean, what are we doing, man?
She must have had a good dick in the night before, man, to be that euphoric.
That's somebody that's mentally ill, right? Like no logical, rational human being does that.
No, she's an idiot. That's
so you're saying she might not be ill. She might not be mentally ill. She could just be stupid. Is that basically?
Yeah, I think we subscribe too much stuff to mental illness lately. Sometimes people are just fucking dumb.
I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. Seems weird. Like I'm trying to think of what the situation would have to be for me to hop into a fire truck and start it and then take off. It would have to be like I have to rush somebody to the hospital and I don't have a car.
Drugs, baby?
Like I don't have a car, but hey, look, somebody left the keys in that fire truck. Like that might be the only situation where I would get into a fire truck and just drive it for no reason.
I mean, don't you need a CDL?
Probably. I don't know. Maybe she's got an air brake license. How do we know? We don't know.
I don't know. All I'm saying is like, I just think it's funny how the story starts off with after she stayed the night at the volunteer fire department. Like I'm like, okay, we kind of know what she's doing there. Staying the night.
Oh, so you're saying she might have done? She might have did the whole battalion.
Yeah, that's what I said. She probably had pieces of firefighters still inside of her, so she thought she was a firefighter. It's just like mess with her brain. All that firefighter pounding she took the night before.
You know what happened?
She was dope sick.
I'll tell you.
You know, she was euphoric. She was like, "Oh, firefighter."
It came time for the end of the night. She was like, "Is anybody gonna pay me?" And then they were like, "No, we're not. But if you want, you could take the truck around the corner once."
Or maybe she's like, "Is anybody going to take me home?" And they're like, "No, we have to stay here." So she's like, "Ah!" And instead of ordering an Uber, she just thought she'd just drive home with the fire truck.
Well, that was kind of like a weird, kooky,
That's a hilarious story.
Kooky, funny, weird story.
Have you ever known anybody who did something that fucking dumb? You know, just some random person you knew who just like, I'm going to steal a fire truck. Why not? What could go wrong with this decision?
I've known some very dumb people in my life. So not that specifically, but like I've seen people do some really dumb shit in my life. Really dumb. So yeah, I can believe it.
I would say this is the kind of thing where every time I cross the bridge and go to the Iowa side of the Missouri River and I enter Council Bluffs, I see something that makes me go, huh. Where like literally all these stories that come out of Florida, I literally think could probably happen in Council Bluffs, Iowa. If you know, like literally this is like totally something that I could definitely see someone from Council Bluffs, Iowa doing.
All I think about Iowa is just corn. Like,
well, that is like mostly what it is. I mean, Iowa and Nebraska are basically just corn with a few random small cities sporadically put around. But literally, like Council Bluffs, Iowa is like the armpit of the United States. So
you have such nice things to say about parts of this country, Ant.
well, like I'll give you an example.
It's inspiring.
Last time I was over there, it was a Thursday, and I'm just driving along on 9th Avenue, and there's a grown-ass man about mine and your age, you know, around 40-ish, riding a girl's bike. And by girl's bike, I mean, not only did it have the streamers off the bike handles, but it was also for like an 8-year-old girl. So the dude was massively oversized riding this bike down the avenue, and he was carrying on his hand on the bike a rusted out brake rotor for a car.
Okay.
Like, what are you doing? And then you look over at the guy as I drive by and I look at the guy. He has like this like look in his eyes, like, oh, this dude's like fucking strung out like a motherfucker. Like, why are you riding a little girl's bike holding a brake rotor? It's the most random thing ever. Or the other time I was over there and I literally just sitting in my car, I'm looking out and I'm in a bar parking lot, and this lady is sitting outside the bar. There's the cigarette butt holder outside of the bar because you can't smoke in the bar.
Right.
And she's literally picking butts out of the cigarette butt holder, the ones that still have like a little bit left on them, and she's putting them in her purse.
No way.
She's putting them in her purse. This is the type of lady, the lady that I watched. I watched her do it for like 5 straight minutes. I literally called my buddy from work on the phone, and I'm like, hey, guess what I'm literally doing right now? He's like, what? I'm like, well, I'm in the bar parking lot, and I've been watching this lady for like the last 5 minutes do this shit. Like, she's still doing it while I'm on the phone with her describing what this lady's doing. She's the type of lady who would steal a fire truck.
Listen, man. Listen, times are tough out there, and nobody wants to pay $11 for a pack of cigarettes, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess.
Listen, this is not the Iowa man segment, okay? This is the Florida man segment.
If Iowa had disclosure laws like Florida did, we could have an Iowa man segment because I've seen some shit over there.
All right, so that Florida woman story was kind of light. This one, not so much. Another Florida woman arrested after allegedly trying to hire a hitman to kill her 3-year-old son. That is not a typo. That is a real sentence that I wrote.
I don't think you're allowed to have an abortion that late.
Oh, no. No. Not about 3-year-old babies. See, you're not a parent. You see what I mean? This is why.
No.
Your dogs don't count, okay, as kids.
No, all I'm saying is like I'm all pro-choice, but I think 3-year-old is like really late term. I don't think that's allowed. I'm pretty sure even in the most progressive liberal part of any country, they don't allow you to have post-term abortions 3 years after the fact. I'm pretty sure that's super illegal and she's going to prison.
YouTube's going to pull this video. They're going to pull this video, bro. I'm telling you. Anyway.
She's 18?
Yeah.
Oh, she had the kid when she was 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
A woman accused of trying to hire a hitman this week to kill her 3-year-old son has been bonded out of jail. Jasmine Paez, 18.
Who bonded her?
I don't know, bro, but what's wrong with her head?
I mean, she tried to hire a hitman to murder a kid, so I'm going to say she's probably not the brightest.
Whoa, her fucking face is on. That's normal. Wait a minute now. Come on now. Why are her lips kind of going the wrong direction? Am I right or am I wrong?
I think maybe she's challenged.
Oh no! Oh, this. If this YouTube video was eligible for monetization, it would be demonetized. Yeah. So Jasmine Paez, 18 of Miami, charged with first-degree solicitation of murder and third-degree using a communications device for an unlawful use, according to court documents. I mean, doesn't anybody that picks up the phone in Nebraska and says, "Hey, come bring me weed," is basically using a communications device for an unlawful use? I mean,
yeah, like anytime you're up there in almost New York, but not quite New York, and you get on your phone and say, "Hey, come on over for some." You're with your ladies of the night. You're committing an unlawful communications, right?
some of us don't have to pay for sex, Ant. I don't know if you know that, but all right. Investigators said that they were contacted on Tuesday by a man who operates a fake hire an assassin website. Wait a minute. This is the best part of the story. A man on Tuesday who operates a fake hire an assassin website to report that the woman had contacted the operator to arrange a murder for hire for the young child. What is this site? I need to see it right now.
I'm going to go with my other theory that she's challenged. If you fall for a fake murder for hire website, that's an incredible level of naivete.
Oh my God. According to the police, the website founder created the online site to catch and curb those looking to hire a killer. Police said the suspect provides the address for the child and his picture to help facilitate the request. According to investigators, the woman asked that the job be completed by Thursday. Well, she had a time limit too.
The job be completed by Thursday. Okay. Oh my God. First of all, like if you're an 18-year-old mother with a 3-year-old, so you've had a kid for like this, like you can't afford a murder. Like you can't afford a hitman. Like you don't have no 18-year-old single mom has enough money to afford a hitman.
Right. Unless like she lives with her mom and her mom gives her like money to go buy the baby stuff, like a crib. And like I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
First of all, like she went on a murder for hire web. Like this girl's not only is she evil for trying to murder a kid, but she's dumb.
Please tell me that the website address is in this article. Fuck. So yeah, apparently police went to the address, spoke to the child's grandmother, who identified the child as the intended victim based on the murder request submitted online. The boy was found safe and sound at the residence by police. Investigators then posed as the hired hitman and conducted a conversation with the woman, who confirmed the request and agreed to pay $3,000 for the
that murder. Right there. Okay, I'm going to let everyone know right now. If you're talking to a hitman and they will do a murder for the price of a 2008 Chevy Cobalt, you're talking to a cop.
I think you underestimate bad people who need money in a pinch.
I mean, if you're talking to a guy,
I bet you I can go to Newark right now and pay $3,000 to have somebody murdered.
$3,000.
You probably, yeah.
What skilled assassin
who said they were skilled? Wait a minute. Who said they were skilled? Nobody said that. I didn't say that. No, but I bet you I could find somebody to probably pull a trigger for that much money. People are out of their minds out there in the
All
ether.
I'm saying is if you go to a website for hired assassins and then you talk to a guy that you met from that website for hired assassins who's going to commit a murder for the price of a 2008 Chevy Cobalt, you're talking to a cop. All right? Anyone you meet on the website for hiredassassins.com/whatever, when you go to hiredassassins.com and you meet someone who's like, yeah, I'll murder your kid for you, you're talking to a cop. Hiredassassins.com is run by the police. Come on.
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
Well, first of all, I'm trying to be lighthearted here to get over the fact that we literally have a woman trying to murder her 3-year-old. So that's obviously a terrible story.
It's terrible, yeah.
But she's a fucking idiot. Like, I always laugh every time people get caught for like trying to hire an assassin to commit a murder because you've been caught. Like, you're going to be caught every time.
Even if she wasn't an idiot, she's 18. And 18-year-olds, as you and I both know dick about anything.
Oh, 18-year-olds are so stupid.
Yeah, they're big children. That's all they are. That's it. So, yeah, I mean,
even the smart 18-year-olds are stupid as fuck.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. The story of the day and the biggest question, I think, of the human race, and nobody cares about it at all. And I don't understand it, dude. Intelligence officials say that the United States has retrieved craft of non-human, that's a typo, of non-human origin. And not only that, biological cadavers, they're saying too, dude.
They've been saying this shit for years.
Yeah, but it's never been somebody like 3 decorated officials from the United States Air Force who worked in like a secret program for the United States government. That's never happened.
I mean, who are these guys? I don't believe it.
First of all, you believe that there is life out there, right?
What, on extraterrestrials?
Yeah.
Like on other planets? I mean, it's a mathematical improbability that we're in this universe alone.
Yeah. I think it's a mathematical impossibility.
Yeah. It's completely impossible that we're by ourselves.
Not
only do I think it's impossible that we're by ourselves in the universe, I think it's probably impossible that we're by ourselves in our own galaxy. I mean, there's like 1 trillion stars in our galaxy.
Yeah.
Every single, it's just math. When you just think about how many stars.
Right. I mean, we can't even get to the next planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, God knows what's out there. Yeah, for sure.
But
and there is stuff out there.
I'm just saying, like, interstellar travel, like the technology, the advanced technology that would be required for any species to do that kind of interstellar travel would just be so beyond the pale that I'm sorry, we're not just going to like run into like extraterrestrials who just happen to like crash land and die on Earth or whatever. It's just dumb.
Here, you read the story because I want to take it in.
All right. A former intelligence official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the intelligence community Inspector General extensive classified information about deeply covert programs that he says possess retrieved, intact, and partially intact craft of non-human origin. The information, he says, has been illegally withheld from Congress, and he filed a complaint alleging that he suffered illegal retaliation from his confidential disclosures, reported here for the first time. Other intelligence officials, both active and retired, with knowledge of these programs through their work in various agencies, have independently provided similar corroborating information, both on and off the record. The whistleblower, David Charles Grush, 36, a total crank, a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, he's still a crank, is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office. He served as the Reconnaissance Office's representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force from 2019 to 2021. From late 2021 to July 2022, he was the NGA's co-lead for the UAP analysis and its representative to the task force. I think he's bullshitting.
You think
he's full of shit. The task force was established to investigate that this guy is full of shit, was once called unidentified flying objects or UFOs, are now officially called, blah, 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 UAPs, UFOs, yada, yada, yada. All right, this is getting boring. Grush said the recoveries of partial fragments through and up to intact vehicles have been made for decades through the present day by the government, its allies, and defense contractors. See, that's what I don't get. It's like, how many vehicles are supposed to, like, how are these aliens just randomly crash landing on our planet all the time? Like, they have all this technology to be able to, like, come to us, but then they're just crashing all the time?
I don't have an answer.
I think it's bullshit. That's my answer. It's bullshit. I think all these guys are full of crap. Analysis has determined that the objects retrieved are of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin, based on the vehicle morphologies and material science testing in the possession of unique blah, 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 he said. In filing his complaint, Grush, who's a crank, is represented by a lawyer who served as the original Intelligence Community Inspector General. We are not talking about prosaic origins or identities, Grush said, referencing information he provided Congress and the current ICIG. The material includes intact and partially intact vehicles. In accordance with protocols, Grush provided the Defense Office of pre-publication blah, 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 blah. So I think the guy's full of shit.
So I have video from this guy.
Mr. Chairman.
C-SPAN?
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. This is an important issue, and I'm grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grush. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty.
Look at those eyes, man.
At the rank of
Look at that dude.
Most recently, from 2021.
Oh, that dude's crazy. Look at him. That's a crazy motherfucker. Look at those eyes.
He looks like a normal dude trying to do, what's right for humanity right now, letting the people know that there are aliens out there.
2023, at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, at the GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and
skip ahead of all this bullshit.
Object analysis.
I mean, it's a 4-minute video.
The UAP task force.
He's just talking about job title. I want to get to the point where he says that we have aliens.
All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW. I became a whistleblower through a PPD 19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence
filing. Okay, this is exciting.
Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed.
Do you realize that you just said that the guy that just went on the floor of the Congress to tell everybody, hey, United States government has dead aliens and the craft that they came in at a facility right now, and I know where that facility is. You just basically said that was boring.
No, what I'm saying is the guy just spent a minute giving his credentials and just naming a bunch of agencies and then said he filed paperwork to be a whistleblower. Get to the part where he talks about aliens.
Mr. Comer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me say I want to thank you for having this hearing, and I want to thank Mr. Burchett, Ms. Luna for leading this hearing. Yes, and with that, I yield my 5 minutes to Mr. Burchett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to direct this, I believe, to Mr. Grush, but if any of you all feel like you need to jump in, just jump right in. We're good. Has the U.S. government become aware of actual evidence of extraterrestrial, otherwise unexplained forms of intelligence? And if so, when do you think this first occurred?
I like to use the term non-human. I don't like to denote origin. Keeps the aperture open, both scientifically. Right. Certainly, like I've discussed publicly previously, 1930s.
Okay.
1930s.
Can you give me the names and titles of the people?
Yeah, 1930s.
So he's saying that we've had aliens on this planet since the 30s.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's highly unlikely.
I don't know. I mean, they're definitely out there, but you do bring up a good point about like why are they coming? Why are they crash landing or coming to Earth when
like we're not that interesting.
The universe is infinite. There is an infinite amount of planets to go to. So I mean, yeah, I mean from that point of view, I guess you're right. But like they could definitely have crashed here, and they are definitely out there somewhere. The people that are like, nope, God created us, bro, and it's only us, and nothing else is out there.
Those people are bigger idiots than this guy.
Thank you.
With direct firsthand knowledge and access to some of these crash retrieval programs, and maybe which facilities, military bases the recovered material would be in. And I know a lot of Congress talked about we're going to go to Area 51, and and there's nothing there anymore anyway. It's just and we move like a glacier. And as soon as we announce it, I'm sure the moving vans would pull up. But please.
I can't discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to the Intel committees and the Inspector General.
And we could get that in the skiff if we were allowed to get in a skiff with you. Would that be probably what you would think?
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses.
Oh, so I can't answer your question, but I gave you guys paper. So that's what sucks. It's like the guy just asked him, well, do we actually have aliens? The guy like, well, I can't tell you, but I gave you some paperwork. I'm like, what the fuck? That's a
yeah. I assume that like the people that are probably up there probably don't even have the clearances. If what they have is like real, like presidents basically barely know what's going on.
Yeah, everyone who becomes president is. Hold on, what's this one? Luna asked UAP whistleblower point blank if he's been in.
Special access programs cover this information, and how is it possible that they have evaded oversight for so long?
I do know the names. Once again, I can't discuss that publicly and how they've evaded oversight.
All right, this is a big waste of time.
Yeah, he's basically saying, I believe me, it's totally true. I do know the names, but I can't discuss publicly. Then why did you come before Congress?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. It's like that Tic Tac video. Have you seen that one where they're all like, "Oh, look at this flying Tic Tac"?
So, yeah.
It's supposed to be the definitive evidence of UFOs. So you watch this grainy ass bullshit video that was filmed by a dude with Parkinson's, and they're like, "See, there's a black dot in the middle of this grainy video. Aliens."
Yeah, but there are fighter jets trying to follow it, and they can't. And it doesn't move like anything that Earth is capable of building.
Well, we're saying, there's no way it can move that way based off the we don't have any evidence other than some fighter pilots saying that's what they saw. But we don't have any video evidence. They shockingly don't have any video evidence of it because the video evidence is literally just a grainy ass video shot by a dude with shaky hands. And they're trying to tell you this black dot in the video is a fucking alien spacecraft. I'm like, all I'm saying is like people hallucinate more than you might think. You don't know what's going on. Like when you're like flying at all those G's, you don't know what's going on with your brain. Maybe they got like fucking endorphin thingies going on, or I don't know.
You're of the opinion that no alien has ever come to Earth?
I would say I'm very, very, very skeptical of it.
Of that, but not skeptical of the fact that they exist.
Oh, aliens definitely exist. Aliens definitely exist. I just don't think, like, when you think about life on other planets, obviously there's going to be life on other planets. Although a degree of how advanced is that life? Because, like 50 million years ago, life on this planet was just a bunch of like mammals because it was after the dinosaurs were blown up.
Right. Yeah. For all we know,
it could just be animal life.
amoebas,
intelligent life. But like, think of it like how we're supposedly intelligent, but like, and we're the most intelligent species to ever evolve on our planet. So now think about like another planet that actually has an intelligent species evolve on it.
Right.
Well, how many years of technological advances they need to be advanced beyond us to even be able to travel? I'm just saying, I think life on other planets is super common. Just interstellar travel, though,
Right.
that is, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to put a number on that. I just think that is just extremely unlikely. I think interstellar travel is something for science fiction. Until we can come up with we can't even figure out how to get people to Mars safely. And first of all, you need to be able to fly beyond the speed of light. We don't know how to do that yet. I'm not saying other people can't figure that out. Other aliens can't figure that out. But like, come on, it's going to be extremely difficult. And in order to have that amount of advanced technology to be able to do that, they're going to have the advanced technology to be able to not crash land. Okay. I mean, they'll figure out landing gears. If they can figure out greater than light speed interstellar travel, they can figure out how to land. So that's my point. I mean, I think the whole UFO stuff's all bullshit. I would not be super shocked though if it turned out that hey, there is some alien out there and we've seen it. Because I believe aliens exist, so I'm like, all right, well, I was wrong, but there's been no evidence. All our evidence that we have is a grainy fucking video that doesn't show anything, and just you get like these random people who'll say, oh, I saw something, but I'm sorry, there's crazy people all over the planet. I mean, we just had a crazy lady in Florida steal a fire truck. So I mean, sometimes there's a reason why eyewitness testimony isn't really.
Don't you think that like 3 guys that are like lifelong government, like military workers, whatever, put their reputations at risk if they didn't know for a fact?
It's just that one guy.
I think there were 2 other guys at the hearing.
And the problem is he's not saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, but there was somebody that basically said, you're saying that, biological cadavers and non-human craft are on this planet, and he's like, yes, and I know where they are. I saw.
He doesn't tell them where they're at.
No.
Show me the craft, and then I'll believe you.
I assume that maybe he tells them in a skiff, like he said, or whoever has clearance. But I don't know. You do bring up a good point, like why come to Earth, why us? But
I don't think we're that important.
I don't disagree with that, but I do think these people that just fully say that no, there's a 0% chance that there's aliens out there. I mean, they believe in the burning bush and the talking snake. So, I mean, I don't know. All right, so one thing that I didn't have time to make a graphic for, but was the talk of Twitter today. And that was, I think Mitch McConnell had like some kind of stroke live on television.
Yeah, I saw this video clip. That was crazy.
Right?
Doesn't it make you glad that our country is ran by a bunch of 80-year-olds?
So let's watch this video for a minute.
And string of
Yeah, that he looks dead already. Yeah, he's having a seizure.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, he's having a seizure or a stroke. One of the two. or something. Because here's the thing about Mitch McConnell. Like, he's older than Biden. You know? Like,
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell is, and that's something like people, it's so crazy because we go, oh my God, Joe Biden going to be the president at 80. Well, Mitch McConnell runs the Republican Party in the Senate, and the dude's like 83. You know, we had Nancy Pelosi's like 82.
There's something fundamentally wrong with a person writing legislation and taking the country down roads that will have impacts for 50 years when you're only going to be alive on the planet that you're or the country that you're legislating for another year or two, or maybe
it's ridiculous.
Maybe
well,
Dianne
Feinstein's like got Alzheimer's. Like, everyone in DC knows that she's like hasn't had her wits about her for like years now. I mean, it's insane. And just look at that guy. He just looked.
Yeah, like that guy.
He just died in front of us, Mitch McConnell. Like, what the fuck?
Like, and he that like he is in charge of so many things. Like in the Senate, man, it's fucking nuts that guy is like, you know what? No gun control. Nope. And then
you also got to remember that piece of shit, because honestly, I don't care what happens to him. I hope horrible things happen to Mitch McConnell. He's the piece of shit that stole the Supreme Court nomination away from Barack Obama in 2016. Just for a year, just decided for the entire year.
There you go. Instrumental in flipping the court for the next 30 years. Right?
He's the one who did not do his job.
Right.
He held up the nomination process for a fucking year until Donald Trump got elected, and then immediately had Trump installed it.
And that guy,
Ruth Bader Ginsburg died 40 days before an election. She died 40 days before the election. He fast-tracked Amy Coney Barrett in and had her put on the Supreme Court 1 week before the election.
Right. And that guy.
He did that after his reasoning for holding up Merrick Garland for a year was, well, we can't have Supreme Court nominations filled during an election year. That would just be unprudent. And then literally 4 years later, Mitch McConnell, it's 40 days outside the election, Ruth Bader Ginsburg decided, what are you going to do? Oh, well, we're going to fill the seat. Well, what was that you said 4 years ago with during Barack? Well, you see, Barack Obama was a Democrat, and Donald Trump's a Republican, so we're going to fill the seat. So fuck Mitch McConnell.
Yeah,
I'm mad he didn't die in front of us. That probably would have been hilarious. I would have laughed my ass off even more if that was literally just his swan song right there, just in the middle of his speech, just go.
It's just so it's so ass backwards and fucked that guy or anybody that age that has that kind of power is making decisions for my daughter who is 15, and he's going to be fucking dead next week. It's nuts.
The United States Senate is a nursing home. Like, you have him, you have I mentioned Dianne Feinstein's like 90 and completely riddled with all kinds of dementia.
You want to know? I'll tell you right now.
Chuck Grassley's 90.
You want to know when you shouldn't be able to run anymore? When you're eligible for Social Security. What is that? 62? How old?
You get it early at 62, I think, but it's like 67 when the full benefits kick in.
Yeah, that's too old, 67. So let's say like 65. Like, you should not be the president, or in Congress after 65. Maybe even less than that. Maybe even like 60. Because like there you can make the argument that if everybody that was in there, right, was between the ages of 30 and 40, I think things would go exponentially smoother when
Well,
they have to live in the country that they're governing for the next 50 years.
Well, when you literally have like members of Congress, they have all these tech CEOs up for a congressional hearing, and you got like some 60-year-old senator like grilling the CEO, like Mark Zuckerberg, on about his iPhone, or like grilling the Google CEO about his iPhone, and the Google CEO is like, I don't run Apple. He's like, I think.
Oh yeah. I saw
they
that.
don't understand.
Clueless. They have no idea.
Yeah, they don't understand the difference between
Right.
the Apple iOS and the Android. So they're like yelling, they're shouting down the Google CEO about something that they saw on their iPhone or whatever. Or you see it all the time in these meetings where they're like mad at these people about, like, they don't understand how Googling something works. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Like, if you ask me, do you want your Senate Majority Leader to be 72 or 27? I would say 27 in a heartbeat.
Well, you can't even be 27 in the Senate.
I know, but I'm saying that's the problem.
Well, I don't want 27-year-olds in either. They're idiots too.
Rather than
let 27-year-olds be in the House of Representatives, I think 30 is fine for the Senate. But the Senate should be 30 to 62.
Right. Yeah, I don't really disagree. And maybe like you should be older than 40 to be the president, right? What is it, 35 now?
Yeah, it's 35.
Yeah. I would say that's probably a little low. I would say probably. But I mean, regardless, it's just crazy. Like, and then like a couple hours later, like they saw him like walking by and somebody asked him a question, and he was like, oh, the president called to see if I was okay, and I told him I got sandbagged, and then he just kept walking, and everybody was like, what, man?
The president tripped over a sandbag like a month ago.
Oh, okay. Well, Mitch McConnell I guess he was trying to say a joke.
He was trying to make a joke, I guess.
I don't know why that's. I mean, the guy was frozen. If he wasn't hanging on to the podium, he might have collapsed.
Yeah.
When that happened.
That's insane.
It's insane. And then, but you know what? Because listen, I'm an equal opportunity offender. Joe Biden, just as mentally shot. Gonzo, good night. I saw a video. He was like, I told you I cure cancer. Did you see that video?
No, but I've seen any number of videos of Joe Biden looking every bit an 80-year-old.
He's equally gone.
It's ridiculous. We're going to have a presidential election of two guys who are like 80. Because like people forget, like Donald Trump's only like 2 years younger than Biden. Come 2024, like Donald Trump during election day 2024 is going to be like 79.
It's unbelievable, man. All right, but we'll close with this final story. Speaking of Donald Trump, apparently it's not over. Trump to face racketeering charge in Georgia for attempting to overturn the 2020 election result.
Is this about that phone call?
I don't know.
Oh, it has to be. I heard that phone call when it happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on the phone with the Georgia Secretary of State, trying to get him to flip 11,000 votes. Literally telling him.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that phone call. Yeah. Okay, so that's this. Atlanta's top prosecutor is preparing to charge former President Donald Trump with racketeering for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney will formally accuse Trump, 77, of influencing witnesses and computer trespassing. The Guardian reports on Friday in what could be the former president's fourth indictment this year. Let me read that again. Yeah,
and he's not done. Doesn't he have more coming?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. he's a lock to be the Republican nominee again.
It's insane. These
a
people are
mortal,
so crazy.
Mortal lock that he will be the nominee again.
Yeah, oh, I agree 100%. He is 100% going to be the nominee, and he's 100% like, unless Biden dies before the election, which I mean, insurance actuary tables tell you he probably.
If you woke up tomorrow to a text from me that said, "You're not going to believe this, Trump, Biden, and McConnell all died last night," you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I can believe that." Yep.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm pretty sure McConnell already did die. Like,
no.
Look at that video of McConnell. Like, how did he not?
Oh, come on, man. We just watched somebody short circuit, and you're gonna say that he died? That's not nice.
Mitch McConnell is literally more evil than the Emperor from Star Wars.
I don't disagree.
I mean, I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for Mitch McConnell. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm going to look terrible. I'm going to look like a terrible human being when Mitch McConnell dies because I will have zero sympathy or empathy. They're like, "Well, what about his children?" I'm like, "Well, his children have an evil person for a father."
What was the guy's name in Star Wars? Senator Palpatine.
Yeah, Senator Chief Palpatine.
Yeah, that is
He's the Emperor. He became the Emperor Palpatine. Yep. Yeah, he's literally Emperor Palpatine. He's so fucking Mitch McConnell. Literally, Mitch McConnell's the type of guy who laughs at puppies getting ran over. Okay,
no.
If you told Mitch McConnell that an orphanage burned down, he would like have a little twinkle in his eye. You know,
no.
You tell Mitch McConnell that homeless people all just like dropped dead yesterday in California, he would like find his first ejaculate in a decade. Like Mitch McConnell.
A decade.
I mean, maybe longer.
Yeah.
Probably, but all I say is like Mitch McConnell is fucking evil as shit. Every time the guy smiles, I'm pretty sure he's like thinking about like dead hookers or something. Like he's just like, that dead hooker. That was a good time. I mean, I don't know. The dude just seems like literally like just the most evil person on the planet. Like everything about him is just.
I'll be honest. I do think that like a lot of times you can perceive something on either side that somebody does that is like, that's kind of fucked up, man. That's kind of not right. But like Mitch McConnell is one of the more evil dudes for sure in the United States Senate, no doubt. Yeah, I don't really disagree with that.
All right, so Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis will formally accuse Donald Trump, 77. I told you Trump was old as shit. 77 of influencing witnesses and computer trespassing, The Guardian reported. Trump made several phone calls to Georgia election officials after his electoral loss to now President Biden, asking Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger in one infamous conversation to find 11,780 votes to overturn his defeat in the Peach State. That's the exact thing. I heard that I heard that thing.
So did I.
Literally, as I was listening to that conversation when it was being reported, because it got leaked. It was a huge news story at the time. As you're listening to that conversation, you're literally going, well, smart people were going, Trump supporters were not thinking this. Trump supporters probably don't even know about the fucking phone call. But
do you see
as you're listening to the phone call, though, you're like, holy fuck, this guy's committing a crime right now. Like, that is a crime. He's literally committing a crime. I'm listening to this guy commit a felony.
Presidents don't. Since when has a president been held accountable for anything?
Never, but maybe he will. Who knows?
Do you see that? Wait. Before you continue to read, do you see the article title next to what you're reading?
Oh, my God. Jared Kushner's relatives donate max to Chris Christie's 24 presidential bid despite putting Jared's dad in prison.
That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny.
Oh my God. That's probably another.
Honestly, I'm more interested in that right now.
That's funny. Well, Chris Christie did put Kushner's dad in prison when he was the Attorney General of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Murray Lee Kushner, the uncle and aunt of former President Donald Trump's son-in-law, his aunt and uncle are donating to Chris Christie. That means he put their brother in jail, or his brother, right?
Yeah.
They both maxed out contributions to Chris Christie. Jared Kushner has famously feuded with Christie, the former governor and ex-U.S. attorney for the Garden State, for putting his father, Charles, behind bars for 14 months. Christie went after Charles for tax evasion, fraud allegations, and a twisted revenge plot. All right. This included Charles' alleged hiring of a prostitute to seduce his sister Esther's husband out of... What the fuck am I reading?
I don't know.
Charles allegedly hired a prostitute to seduce his sister Esther's husband out of fury that his brother-in-law was cooperating in a federal probe against him. So that's why they're donating to Chris Christie, because he tried to get the... Oh, my God. Wow, Jared Kushner's got some really weird shit going on in his family. That's funny.
Yeah, what a fucked up world. So we've learned a couple things. One, there are definitely aliens. 2, women in Florida are shot. 3, Mitch McConnell might die tonight. 4,
Fingers crossed.
Oh, no.
Fingers crossed, baby. Come on, baby.
No.
The
4,
Kentucky governor's a Democrat, Jay.
pray for the people in Nova Scotia. 5, hope LeBron James' kid is okay. And I guess that's it. We'll be back next week for episode 4 of Ant and Jay Save America. For Ant, I'm Jay. We'll see you next week. Later.